So I was on Instagram during the pandemic, going through, just scrolling, and I came across a page of a Jewish man that was being released from the hospital from dealing with COVID. And there was a bunch of Jewish men dancing around, and I was very intrigued by it. So I clicked on it and wanted to learn more on what they were doing. And then I went to his wife's page, Sarah's, and started kind of looking. And one point he was in the hospital and he was doing people were coming in putting money in a can, and I was like, what is that? So then I started looking into that, which I learned was a tzedakah. And what they were doing, I learned that they were Jewish, and I'm Jewish but didn't grow up practicing. So I was kind of learning from her page and just started looking. And so then I started following her music, and then I found her on Spotify. And then I started listening to her music, and then I felt kind of like a connection with her. And then one day I was on there just scrolling through her page, and I found out that her husband Yudi had actually passed away. And I felt the need to reach out, and I went on Instagram and messaged her and gave her my condolence and kind of told her my story of being Jewish but not practicing, not growing up knowing anything, and always wanting to learn, and didn't know really where to start. And then she called me back. So as a child, I grew up with no Judaism in my household, really no religion. My mom never talked about any of that. I knew that we were Jewish. That was about the extent of it. I only remember, the only reason I knew we were Jewish was because of Hanukkah, but I didn't realize that we were Jewish until I went to school. My mom always celebrated Hanukkah. That was the only thing that she did. I don't know if that was something that her and her mom enjoyed. She didn't speak of her mom. Her mom passed when she was 22. So from what I've learned, they only did high holidays growing up. And then my grandfather, he did Hanukkah as well. That was the only Jewish holiday. I remember going to my grandfather's house and putting the candles in and trying to light them, and him saying, no, that's not how you do it. There's a certain way that you light the menorah. And he didn't explain it to us. He just fixed the candles. And then my mom and him always said the prayer together, but it was like their little thing that they did together. My mom never taught us the blessing or anything. So Hanukkah was a big deal. We always knew that around November and December, we would always be with my mom for Hanukkah. She made a big deal about it. And then one year I went to Florida, and it was during Hanukkah, and my mom was very upset. So she put menorah candles in my book bag. And when I got to Florida, I opened my book bag and saw that she put menorah candles in my book bag. I think it was 3 or 4 nights later. It was the first night of Hanukkah. So we made a little menorah in the sand and put a cooler, and we had to put it behind the tires because it was windy, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I lit the menorah. And then I took a picture to show my mom so she knew that we still celebrated, even though she wasn't there. So that was my limit of knowing Judaism. I just knew Hanukkah. I didn't know what Shabbat, tzedakah. I didn't know what anything was. So following Sarah's page, I wanted to learn more, and it was intriguing by me. So I decided that I was going to reach out and see if she could help me find a way to get involved with the synagogue. I didn't really know how or what to do, or I was kind of nervous, didn't really know. So Sarah is a Chabad family, and she was able to find her researches, and then she immediately wrote me back and got me in contact with Kaila. So Kaila called me and told me that there was a Shabbat dinner and to come and pick it up at the synagogue. She said I would just have to pull in and just run in and grab a box of food. And I was like, okay, that's simple. So I came to the synagogue, I pulled in, and I tried to sneak in and like be all quiet without anybody seeing me. And I grabbed my box, and then I heard a woman say, "Excuse me, are you Nikki?" And I said, "Yes." And then she's like, "Hi, my name's Carrie. I'm the secretary. Let me get Kaila." And I said, "No, like, no worries. Like, I'll just grab this and leave." And then she was adamant and said, "No, like, I'm going to get Kaila. She wants to talk to you." Kaila came out and spoke to me and then went out to my car to say hi to Cayenne, my daughter. And then we started talking about Sunday school when she saw that I had a 6-year-old. So my daughter started Sunday school, and I asked Kaila if I could kind of tag along to learn because I knew nothing. So I figured the best way to learn is with my daughter. And then I started attending Sunday school with my daughter and all the little kids and becoming a little helper. One day we were learning about Akiva, and Kaila was looking right at me and said that he started his journey at 40, and I'm 39, so very close to his age, and he started his education at that age. So I didn't feel so silly sitting with the little kids doing Sunday school. And then I learned that Akiva became a rabbi with 24,000 students, so that is pretty cool. So Cayenne really loves Sunday school, and then when we would go home, she would ask if we were doing Shabbat on Friday. So we had to go out and get candles, and I started cooking Shabbat dinners on Friday. She wants to learn all about the holidays. She even gives me homework. She is making me learn Hebrew right now. She gives me homework every day, and she is a very hard teacher, but you would think that she is like literally grew up in a Jewish home from birth. She speaks Hebrew. It's amazing to see what she's doing. So it was coming up on my mom's anniversary of her passing, and we wanted to light the yard-side candles. We had learned in Sunday school about that. So we went looking for the candles, and I could not find them anywhere. So I called my sister, and I told her to go to Myers because I heard they have them there. So she went there, and she got us 2 candles, and we did a Zoom meeting. So she lit a candle for me and a candle for herself for my mom, and Cayenne wanted to do a blessing. So the only blessing my daughter knew at the time was Homotzi, and she said the Homotzi blessing, and I didn't really know what we were doing. And then later on, I learned that that blessing was only for bread, so we all kind of got a chuckle out of that. So my nephew Azariah was on the Zoom, and he knows that Cayenne goes to Sunday school and is learning. And Cayenne started speaking Hebrew, and his face was like priceless. His mouth was open, and he couldn't believe that Cayenne was speaking Hebrew. So now every time he sees Cayenne, he tells her to say something in Hebrew. So thinking back to Sarah and her husband, and her linking us to our past of Judaism, and my grandmother who I never met, I never really thought that I would be so involved with the synagogue and it bringing so much joy to my daughter's life and learning and connecting to our Jewish roots. And one of the promises I made to my mom is that we would always still celebrate Hanukkah, even after she was gone.
Some days the sun shines bright and dries your tears, but those days.
And I feel like we are carrying on the generation now, and Cayenne's learning. And when she has children, she's going to pass it on to her children. So I'm so thankful that I can use this inspiration to grow, and for my daughter to grow and become a proud Jewish girl and know where she came from. And I can definitely say now that the Jewish community is our new home.
With your wings, you shine like a star, being just who you are. And anytime you try, you succeed. You have all you need.